All right, let's rewind to London in 1971. Picture a quiet Saturday night in September. People are out enjoying the weekend, and no one suspects that beneath their feet something legendary is unfolding. The Lloyds Bank branch on Baker Street, seemingly an average bank, is the target of a plot so wild it reads like a crime thriller. This is the story of one of the greatest bank heists in history. The mastermind behind this grand plan? A man named Anthony Gavin. Gavin was no ordinary thief. He was fascinated by Sherlock Holmes, particularly a Holmes story where a gang tunnels into a bank. Gavin thought, why not try this for real? But he needed a team, a hideout, and most importantly, a foolproof plan. So he gathered a few trusted allies, rented out the basement of a leather goods store called Le Sac, just 2 doors down from the bank, and got to work. Their goal? Tunnel under Baker Street and break into the vault. Simple enough, right? Well, easier said than done. They began digging at night, armed with jackhammers, shovels, and a lot of guts. Gavin, along with his team, had to dig through 40 feet of dense London earth and clay, all in secret. For weeks, they worked tirelessly, avoiding detection and using wooden beams to reinforce the tunnel. Every night, inch by inch, they got closer to the vault. Now, fast forward to September 11th. After weeks of grueling work, the gang finally reaches the vault's concrete floor. They bring out a heavy-duty hydraulic jack, break through the 3 feet of concrete, and bam, they're in. Inside are rows of deposit boxes, each one loaded with cash, jewelry, confidential documents, and maybe even a few secrets too hot for the public to handle. The gang starts filling bags with cash and jewels, making an absolute haul. But just when they're getting comfortable, a twist they never saw coming changes everything. While they were chatting on walkie-talkies to keep in touch, an amateur radio operator, Robert Rowlands, just happened to pick up their conversations. Imagine his surprise hearing chatter about vaults, loot, and 300 grand. Rowlands, realizing something big was happening, called the police. And here's where things get, well, classic. Scotland Yard didn't take him seriously at first, thinking it was a prank call. But Rowlands, persistent and clever, recorded the gang's radio conversations and kept calling back until they finally listened. By the time the police understood what was happening, though, they had no idea which bank was being hit. Rowlands guessed it was within a mile of his place, but the police, rather than trusting this tip, began frantically searching banks across a 10-mile radius. Inside the vault, the gang was blissfully unaware of the police. They were still filling their bags, breaking into a total of 260 safety deposit boxes and taking away a loot estimated at over £3 million, worth around £36 million today. Cash, jewels, valuable documents, everything they could get their hands on went straight into their bags. By the time the police arrived at the bank, the gang had vanished without a trace. Before we go on, if you're loving this story, remember to hit that subscribe button for more. The next morning, Lloyds Bank staff walked into utter chaos. Smashed boxes, cash strewn everywhere, and a massive hole in the vault floor. As news of the heist broke, the public was shocked. The press called it the crime of the century, but as police began investigating, they realized this wasn't just a daring robbery. There was more to it. Now the gang thought they'd made a clean getaway, but they left behind one big clue. The lease on Le Sac, the shop they'd used as a hideout, was traced back to a certain Benjamin Wolfe, a known associate. With Wolfe's slip-up, the police started piecing together the gang's identities, and slowly but surely, they rounded up the members. But the heist itself? A legendary success. But wait, there's a twist that keeps this story alive. Rumor has it that the robbers stumbled across very sensitive material in the vault, including scandalous documents involving high-profile figures. Some even say they found blackmail-worthy photos and documents, leading to theories of government involvement in covering up the full scope of the heist's contents. Allegedly, MI5, Britain's intelligence agency, might have even stepped in to protect the reputations of certain elite members of society. Was there a D-notice issued, preventing the press from revealing what was really stolen? Years later, one of the gang members, Brian Reeder, also involved in the famous Hatton Garden heist decades later, hinted that they'd found disturbing material in the vault. He claimed the photos were so shocking that the gang left them scattered around the vault, hoping the police would handle the mess. And even now, questions remain about what was really inside those safety deposit boxes. Was it just cash and jewels, or were there secrets too dangerous for the public eye? The full truth of the Baker Street heist may never be known. To this day, some records remain classified and rumors persist. Did the government really suppress details about what was taken? Were these secrets enough to justify a cover-up? What started as a classic crime caper has since turned into one of London's biggest mysteries, with questions that linger to this day. And that's the story of the Baker Street heist, a crime of ambition, ingenuity, and maybe a few buried secrets. Thanks for watching, and if you're as fascinated by tales like these as we are, make sure to stick around for more.